On this week's Waypoint, the Magma chamber fizzles out, Season 4 patch notes have been revealed, Ghostcrawler joins Riot, and Lemon Dogs are out of the LCS. What's up guys, and welcome to Waypoint, your weekly League of Legends recap for January 16th, 2014. I'm your host, Mike Schaffnet. Now if you guys were a fan at all of the Showdown game mode, or as rather I like to call it, the Magma chamber from the 2013 All-Star matches, too bad, because after an already long winter, Riot's gonna leave you guys out in the cold. After running the game type through internal testing, as well as testing the game type's popularity during the Snowdown, it appears as though for now, Riot's going to stop all development on the project. Now, this isn't to say that the idea of the 1v1 or 2v2 experience is going away, but Riot simply feels that the development time it would take to refine a map for a single game type would be better served elsewhere. Don't believe me? Why do you think that they tested the mode during the Snowdown on the Howling Abyss? By introducing the mode this way, it allowed them to collect data that they needed to see if the idea was worth pursuing. So how did the game mode stack up? Well, Riot Brakar took to the forums to give exact statistics and spelled out just how successful the last two featured game types have been. This first graph is a look at how many minutes each player spent within a specific game type. And as you guys can see, Showdown numbers came in at just a tiny 2.3%. Brakar goes on to explain that because of the novelty factor in these game modes, they also analyze the playtime over the life of the game type, which once again, as you guys can see, didn't stack up very high. Now, this isn't to say that the game type isn't fun or was unsuccessful. It just means that the development time will go into something else rather than a single 1v1 or 2v2 map. Alright guys, contrary to what I said last week, it's 2014, and that means Season 4 is coming very soon, so the Season 4 patch notes have finally been released. Now we're not going to cover every change, but you guys can view the entire patch notes by clicking the link that's in the description below. So first up, when using the sweeper trinket on a ward, it will darken the fog of war while the ward stays disabled. Annie has been a dominating force as a support in the early game lately, due to her stun. So to adjust, her stun duration is getting nerfed at early levels to 1.25 seconds from 1 to 5, and 1.5 from 6 to 10. This should hopefully lower her early game pressure during the laning phase, however her late game is getting a small buff by lowering the cooldown on Tibbers at later ranks. Shyvana's damage is getting reduced in the early game on her W, E, and R, but on the backside at max ranks she's getting a bit more damage. Thresh's Lantern is getting a small collision radius, which means there will be no more trolling by dropping a ward on the Lantern to deny the enemy dark passage. Also in this patch, Riot is breaking the competitive meta of the 2v1 lanes. You see, in Season 3, towers had additional armor for the first 8 minutes, and while this stopped fast pushing of the towers, it sometimes led to 2v1 situations. Riot has addressed this by removing the additional armor and making the top and middle outer turrets take 20 less damage from auto attacks for the first 8 minutes. As some of you might have found out earlier this week, it's been uncovered that Greg Street, one of the lead developers on the MMORPG World of Warcraft, will be joining the Riot Games team. For more details on this story, we turn to LOL King correspondent Lindsay Geektron, who's at the Riot offices now celebrating the good news. Lindsay, can you hear me?
I can, Mike, and I just can't believe this news. It is absolute blasphemy that Riot...
Wait, I'm sorry, blasphemy? Greg has a wealth of experience and has been taken from a large gaming juggernaut. This should be considered a massive success, shouldn't it?
You would think that, Mike, but now that Ghostcrawler's at Riot, he's gonna be the person that players rage at, and poor Morello, he's gonna be so bored. I mean, perfect groups only need one tank. And on top of that, he's gonna nerf paladins because that's just what he does. It's not like Tarek is having the best time lately. And we all know what happened to Frost Mages in WoW. Lysandra and Anivia OP, GG.
But Lindsay, come on now. Some people would say that Ghostcrawler was the voice of World of Warcraft, and he did a great job communicating with its player base and really tried to improve the game. Isn't that what Riot Games is all about?
Sure, Mike, but the outrage from the online community is palpable. It's only a matter of time before Baron is reworked to look like a giant murloc that only drops Thunder Fury, Blessed Blade of the Windseeker. Again. Look, as a League of Legends player and former WoW player, I am absolutely horrified at this. Ghostcrawler did nothing for Blizzard. I mean, he alone was responsible for ruining WoW. and now he's over at Riot? Stealing jobs from Morello is just the beginning, and now all we have to look forward to is a long relationship with a man that can stand up to a community and take some verbal damage.
But Riot is a huge company. You're telling me that there's no way for both Morello and Ghostcrawler to find ways to better the community working together?
Listen, Mike, we all know how blood-crazed ghost crabs can be. Put them in a room together with a Phoenix Egyptian god thing, and who do you think would win in a fight to the death?
I have no idea. Neither of them are actually things.
Exactly, Mike. Exactly. Oh. Hang on. I hear Reddit is planning a meetup to be outraged in real life. I gotta go!
Lindsay Geektron from LOL Kings League Trends, everybody. It appears as though we're getting one step closer to the Lunar Revel as splash screens for the new champion skins have finally been revealed, as well as the new login screen data mine. To check out the splash screens for each skin, be sure to check the description below, but real quick, let's take a look at the awesome music that can be found in the new login screen. Now, real quick, I wanted to cover a few points that can be found in the 1-hour Q&A with Riot Broken Sword over on the League of Legends forums. First up, when asked about spending more time reworking older champions instead of developing entirely new ones, Broken Sword mentioned that last he saw the upcoming release calendar, 2014 could be considered the year of the reworks, in that we will see far more reworks than new champions. While on the topic of new champions, Broken Sword was also asked about the teased dragon champion, Aoshin, and it appears as though my original speculation that he'll be an early 2014 support champion was wrong, because Broken Sword stated that Aoshin is very, very far down the road, probably not even this year. There was a lot we learned about him after we introduced his concept art, and his character has changed dramatically. So if the next champion isn't going to be Aoshin, then I guess when can we expect new information on the new support? Well, Broken Sword wouldn't spill any of the internal details, but he did claim that it will be a fun champion and be something that we never saw coming. So knowing that this champion is going to be a support, in what ways do you guys think that it's going to break convention from the standardized role? Let us know what you guys think in the comments below. Do you guys love fast-paced, 360-degree aerial dogfighting? Do you want to experience the thrill of chasing your opponent through mountainous valleys, and all for the very low cost of absolutely free? Then why don't you guys help support LOL Nation TV by trying out World of Warplanes? The new free-to-play dogfighter is action-packed with hundreds of unlockables and hours of content to experience, and it's all free just like League of Legends. Even more importantly is World of Warplanes is not pay to win, which plagues so many other free-to-play games that are out there. Be rest assured that your gameplay is kept safe by either time invested or money spent. World of Warplanes is an amazing game with absolutely no risk to try, so to start gunning down your opponents today and support LOL Nation TV, head on over to offergb.com/warplanes or simply click the link or banner that can be found below this video. Now, we've already spent so much time on the news this week, and I don't want to get into much more, but I do want to bring up that Morello did sit down and wrote a really interesting piece regarding fighters and their place within League of Legends. It's honestly a great read with a lot of insight into their balancing and how it's evolved over time, as well as how they'll continue to impact the game. If this is your preferred role, I highly recommend that you guys check out the entire forum post, and we'll be sure to link that in the description below for you. In some EU LCS news, it appears that Lemon Dogs have been officially removed from the 2014 LCS Spring Split. The reason for this appears to be that Lemon Dogs failed to identify a valid roster and deliver it to Riot by the deadline, and as such has been removed from the series. In order to make up for the empty spot, a qualifier will be held between the 3 teams that lost in the promotional matches. This includes Ninjas in Pajamas, Meet Your Makers, as well as Super Hot Crew. It's hard to believe that a team was removed simply because they weren't able to put together a valid roster, but hey, one group's missed opportunity could be the greatest triumph for one of these new and upcoming LCS teams. That does it for this week's episode of Waypoint. Be sure to check back every week on Thursday for updated League of Legends news. If you guys like this video, be sure to like and comment below as it helps spread our audience, and if you want to see more League of Legends content, recaps, and updates, be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel, LolNation TV. As a quick update, we're almost at our 35,000 subscribers, and when we hit that number, we'll be giving 5 of you $10 in Riot Points. I'm Mike Shaffnet. You guys can follow me on Twitter at Mike Shaffnet. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you guys at the next Waypoint.
Game Breaker TV.